Hey everybody, it's John K5DBT, and I wanted to show you just how easy it is to program an Anytone AT-778UV from the front panel. I recently got this radio today, and I actually think it's one heck of a nice radio. It's not very long at all. It's probably probably close to 3.5 inches, about 4.5 inches deep, and about an inch tall, including bracket. So what information we're going to need to program? Well, you're going to need to know your repeater, its offset, and the PL tone it uses, and also it's optional, but the receive PL tone called receive tone squelch. You don't have to have that, but if you use this in a car and you maybe drive in a big city with stoplights and stuff, it could be definitely helpful to use that in areas where there might be a lot of local RF noise. So let's get started. Today I'm going to program the 146.73 repeater, and so with the microphone keypad, I'm just going to simply type the frequency. Now note I am in VFO mode. So the first order of business is let's get our shift in there. And what the shift does is we'll actually shift our frequency down, in this case, because it's a negative offset repeater. This one, as you can see just below the 9, is this negative square with a white bar. That indicates that the shift is minus. We can also change the amount too, but the radio is defaulted for 600 kilohertz split, which is standard here in the USA for this 2-meter band. So, we hit the function button, and then over here to P2, which shift. You can see there it's negative. We can go over here to the wheel, and we can actually change the value. We want it to be 6.6 megahertz. We can hit shift again for no offset, as would be for a simplex channel. We're going to hit it again for a plus offset. Let's go back to a negative, as that's what this repeater is for. Notice I just keyed up. That was a bad habit of mine. My apologies. So, we have our shift, but we won't get very far. You'll see it also defaults it back to the main menu there. We won't get very far without tone access on the repeater. So we need to set that. What we'll do is go to P5, squelch. No, we won't. What we'll do is we'll go to function, to clear out of there, hit function again, then you see CDT. Then this option here is typically receive, essentially CTCSS knows what that stands for. It'll be in the off position typically. So what we'll do is we'll rotate that once. Now this is the receive tone. This is also known as tone squelch. Ask your repeater trustee if your repeater has tone squelch. Not necessarily all repeaters do. A lot of the NWA link system repeaters do have tone squelch, and so that's what I'm going to be programming this for today. This particular repeater is one located at Green Forest. It's an affiliate repeater of the link system, and it does actually have a tone squelch. So I'm going to show you how to set that, but this step is completely optional. Function, you can see we timed out of the menu there. I went back. I'm going to go to CTC, and then I'm going to press in on that button, and that will allow me to change the value to whatever. In case, as you can see here, it's 136.5 as the tone. We'll hit the button, enter again. It'll take us back out of that option. And then we will hit CDT again. And so this is our tone. And now for most repeaters, you must set this. Again, it typically will be turned in the off position by default if you just get the radio out of the box. What we'll do is we'll turn that to CTC. And in some cases, if you have a DCS, but that's incredibly rare in amateur use, we'll go to CTC, press inwards, and select our tone. In this case, 136.5. So therefore, our radio should be in default configuration. In VFO mode, it should be usable. Make sure to always test your channels by properly identifying. Kilo 5 Delta Victor Tango, testing. And we are. So now we need to program it into an appropriate channel. We go over here, long press P2. As you can see, there's a red number flashing, C001. That indicates that there's already a channel programmed in there, as is on channel 2. But channel 3 is clear, as it's blue. Once we find it a clear channel, or whatever channel we would like, we simply long hold it again, and this channel is now programmed in memory. In fact, you can see now it put us into memory mode, and you can see the other repeaters that I have programmed. And see, instead of going to like channel 4 because channel 4 is not programmed, it simply goes back to channel 1. I hope you found this video informative, and I really like this radio. nice mic quality, nice audio quality, and especially nice touch on the silicone cord going from the front of the radio to the microphone. What does lack, though, is the heatsink. I really wish it would have been a little bit larger, or maybe with the default fan as is popular on TYT mobiles. That being said, this radio has a lot of audio output, and easily from a garage radio, which is what this is going to be, it'll serve the purpose just fine, even with a Motorola external speaker plugged into the back mic jack. The display is colorful, and it is bright. I wish it was slightly bigger, but for the price point of $120, I really can't complain much. And being left on 5 watts of power, this radio is really going to be, not getting so hot at all, even with the occasional QSO. Anyway, like I said, I hope you found this video informative.